What is up, all ye flat earthers? As well as other people who like watching these videos. Check it out, and I'll just let you know what's been going on lately. I have still been recording some videos and pictures following the moon observations mainly. However, I didn't do one the last few days. Yeah. And just let you kind of know what's been going on. You can look through my folders here. You can see I've been recording just in the previews. There's moon, 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 moon. You can see it going through all the different cycles. Here's like, March 2nd, you know, um, check a couple different pictures, a couple different settings. There we go. And then eventually you get some that come out. The camera's pretty nice, but I bought one. Saved a couple bucks by not getting one with the eyepiece viewfinder. It's just got the LCD. That kind of sucks when you're outside during the daylight, but anyway, it's a pretty good camera still. It could do manual modes and stuff. Oop. And get some pretty good shots. So lately, the moon has been coming up in the mornings. This was, I believe, at night, and then coming up also in the morning. So you can see there's like a half moon right there. Like some of these shots come out pretty good. I mess with different settings on it. And then like the next day, oops, I didn't do one then. You can kind of see that this sliver gets, smaller as the cycle ends. This was back at the beginning of March. We're kind of at the same cycle right now to where it's actually today it went down to just a little tiny sliver. See, this is still when you had to get real early to see it. Now it's been to where the sun is already, up, and the moon was up just a few hours ahead of it. There's a shot at night. I kind of like those shots sometimes. So anyway, we're down here into April, which I've been doing some photos, and it's been getting down to just a tiny sliver like this. We can also turn on the file info just so you can see what kind of settings I'm using there. Just messing around. Handheld. These have all been handheld shots the last week or so with the 210 millimeter, which I believe it says over here. Yep. And the crazy thing, though, is the flat earthers, they just constantly make up bull crap. And lately, of course, what they're saying now that I'm getting into the cycles of the moon photos and videos I'm putting up is they're saying that's not the sunlight reflecting, because they want to state that the moon is its own light source. It produces its own light. Again, misquoting a verse in the Bible that just says the moon was given for a lesser light at night. That's all it says. It doesn't say it's its own light. Obviously, God could use it as a reflector to do that task, which it obviously is, because wherever this light side is, guess where the sun is? It's always right here, and it changes as the cycle, the distances, the whatever cycle the moon is around our Earth, as the sun is coming up over the horizon, affects the moon. Pretty simple. But so of course these flatties are now saying that it's just clear, transparent moon. Oh, well, that's just weird. Why would it go through cycles of becoming transparent? But stay tuned, because I got to show you something funny about that later. So today's the 5th. I didn't get one. I looked out my front door. I had to get going out the door for work. To go to the video, that's all I took was a little video clip. Flatties. So here's a video clip. I guess it dims a little bit when you pause this with this app. But sun's just coming up. Guess where the moon was? Right up in this stuff. Just a tiny sliver somewhere in here. And when I first went out the door, these clouds were not like this. And I saw it. And I should have shot a photo right there. But I waited till just 5 minutes later for the time it took me to drive down to the local convenience store and get a drink. I got a drink, came out in the parking lot where I like to sit a lot of times, and went to shoot that, and gone. So I think this was about the last day you were going to be able to see a slice of the moon. It was a really small crescent moon. Probably going to be maybe no moon tomorrow morning. I don't know. I'm still kind of doing this tracking myself. But here, check this out. Yesterday, this is what the moon was looking like. This is, there we go. It is a little misleading. Sometimes it was day or night, because I do turn the setting. Does it say 6 a.m.? Okay. I think the sun might have been just coming up. This is still 6 a.m., but you'll see the 1/13th of a second versus 1/100th of a second. So that was a quicker shot. This was almost 10 times more exposures. That's why it looks like more light out than this. And actually, I think this is probably closer to what it looked like outside. But sometimes I adjust it manually to get shot. This is a little earlier. Yeah, 5:29 a.m. That was 30 minutes earlier. So 1/25th of a second. Not a bad shot right there. And you can see it's just a sliver of the moon. The sun was below the horizon down here around the earth. Jackasses. Obviously. But here's the funny thing. The flatties have been saying that, oh, it's just transparent. And they'll see a pixel sometimes pop up in the rendering of the video. It's just an artifact. That's a star shining through. Like, they just invent this bullcrap. But check this out. I want to show you something. What's that? That is the whole moon. This is, again, 5:29 a.m. It was like one shot before this one. Here's what happened, though. Look at this. ISO, that's the sensitivity of your camera digital sensor. 160, it's set pretty low. It's probably pretty normal. Obviously a good shot. 1/25th of a second for the shutter speed. Okay? Look at this. ISO, I might have left it in a manual setting and I realized a mistake. I'm glad I did it. ISO, sensitivity is turned up to 3200. That's a lot more sensitive than 160. And the 2/5 of a second for it held that shutter open at that high of a sensitivity versus only 160 sensitivity and 1/25th of a second. So that was hold the shutter open several times longer with the sensitivity of the sensor cranked. And look at this. If you just look at the part where the sunlight is reflecting, it's just a washout white. Just dang. But good thing I did that, because I wanted to kind of see if I could do this anyway with manual settings. I was on an accident. And you could see the entire moon. This you could not see this with your naked eye or with binoculars or anything if you were like looking at this, if you had this in the shot. And the reason why, just like what it does to a camera in auto settings, is your eye is going to adjust for all this light. And when your iris shuts down, just like the camera adjusts, for the light exposure, this is just invisible to you because there's nothing, no light, or very low light I should say, is reflecting off of it. Almost nothing compared to this. So it just looks like nothing. Of course they think it's transparent because it just looks like all the same colors, just because the atmosphere, makes a color here. The moon is outside the atmosphere. You're not getting the light shining through it that you're detecting through your eye. Just all sorts of simple explanations like that. Obviously, long exposure. Looking at the moon like that with the crescent moon. Look at this. The moon is still freaking there, guys. It's not transparent. So, bust it again. Stop being flat-tarred retards.